Hi everyone, my name is Jasmine. I'm going to be covering global illegal drug use. In April of 2021, researcher John Appline published in 2018 there were 270 million people around the world using illegal drugs. In year 2022, it has been published by the UNODC, which stands for United Nations Office on Drug Crime, reported that the amount of people using drugs in 2022 is now 284 million people. That means that drug increased by 14 million people. Over the last 4 years, the number of users increased by 3.5 million each year. Drug abuse affects our societies in many ways around the world. Today, I will cover what illegal drug use is and how it affects the societies in the countries of the United States, the United Kingdom, and China. Now that I have advised you guys on what we're going to discuss, what is illegal drug use? The use of an illegal drug obtains controlled substance or dangerous drug. The term illegal drug use also means the use of a legally obtained controlled substance or drug which is not taken in accordance with the directions of a licensed physician or prescribed the controlled substance or dangerous drug. Listed here, I have a few types of drugs, which is fentanyl, heroin, cocaine, methamphetamine, and marijuana. Also shown here, I have pictures of the different drugs that I just recently described to you guys, which is fentanyl, methamphetamine, heroin, cocaine, and cannabis, which is also known as marijuana. Now that we know the definition of what illegal drug use is and the type of drugs that are used, let's go over how it may affect some aspects of the United States. Families are deeply affected by drug abuse. For starters, we have child abuse as the primary issue. It has been reported by 29 states that 19.4% of child fatalities result from having a caregiver that abused drugs. Also, we have domestic violence. 80% of domestic violence cases are caused by drug abuse in the United States. Also here is a graph where it shows that there are 8.7 million children aging from 0 to 17 that live within a home where there are drug abusers. 7 million of them live within a two-parent home where both caregivers both use drugs. 1.7 million of them live within a one-parent home where at least one of the parents within that home abuses drugs. Also, a known fact that where illegal drug abuse affects the United States is the unemployment rates. Drugs causes the unemployment rates to increase. States with the higher unemployment rates tend to have higher rates of drug abuse. As mentioned by the 12 keys we have in the United States, 18.1% of unemployed adults use illicit drugs. What is the United States doing to stop or prevent the use of illegal drugs? Well, the United States government has a budget set aside of $1.7 billion for education outreach programs to stop the use of drugs before it starts. Drug abuse policies in the United States focus on the prevention at the youth level, so we can prevent the drug abuse as early as possible. Now that we have discussed the United States, let's move on to the United Kingdom. Connor Stewart reported that the United Kingdom has the highest drug-induced death rates in the world. They have about 76 deaths per million. With so many deaths, they have very strict illicit laws as well. Here I have a table where it shows the classes, the type of drugs within those classes, and what they would get for possession or the production and supply of those type of drugs. For starters, we have Class A, which includes crack cocaine, ecstasy, heroin, LSD, magic mushrooms, methadone, and methamphetamine, which is crystal meth. For possession, they can get up to 7 years in prison, an unlimited fine, or both. Or if they produce or supply, they can get up to life in prison, an unlimited fine, or they can get both as well. I know this may kind of contradict, but the use of illegal drugs also boosts the UK's economy. It has been shown by the Office of National Statistics, that the UK's economy boosted by 11 billion euros. That's a lot of money. The ONS also stated that the UK rebounded early out of recession back in 2008 and 2009 by the sudden rise of their economy, by the sales of drugs. Now, what does the UK have set in place to prevent the illegal use of drugs in their country? For starters, they have the Misuse of Drugs Act of 1971, which is an act of the Parliament of the United Kingdom. It represents action in line with the treaty commitment under Single Convention on Narcotic Drugs, the Convention on Psychotropic Substances, and United Nations Convention against illicit traffic in narcotic drugs and psychotropic substances. This act is set in place to control illegal drug abuse. It is the main law regulating drug abuse in the United Kingdom at the moment. Lastly, as we will discuss, is China. How does illegal drug abuse affect China? For starters, the drug use in China is connected to their increase in HIV and AIDS. Heroin is the most abused drug in China. Since heroin uses needles, drug abusers sometimes share needles, which is making the HIV numbers rise in China. There are 22,000 cases confirmed, and 70.9% of those cases are heroin users. Moving on, illegal drug abuse also has effect on locations, rural versus urban. It has been stated by Qian Ding that there are more younger age people using illegal drugs in the rural areas of China more than the urban areas of China. The main abused drug in China, as we mentioned before, is heroin. Therefore, there have been new records to show that the number of abusers in the rural China area that have used more drugs like methamphetamine, ketamine, ecstasy, and those numbers are still higher than the urban areas of China. What does China have set in place to prevent drug abuse and the rise in their HIV and AIDS rates? As mentioned by Lin Lu, Yuxia Fang, and Zhao Wang, to help lower the number of drug use and also to lower the number of spread of HIV and AIDS, they have adopted what they call the Methadone Maintenance Treatment Program. This is a multifaceted therapeutic approach that aims to reduce the health and social problems induced by the drug epidemic. In conclusion, illegal drug abuse affects every country in a different way. Each country we have discussed here does not all have the same problem. But all of their problems have one thing in common. Illegal drugs are hurting these countries and the people within them. We know that the rate of drug users are increasing by 3.5 million each year. Every country has a plan in place to lower drug abuse. We can only hope that that number continues to decrease over time. Thank you so much.